Hey, this is Justin. This is my first first video for the channel, so I'm gonna be doing Fridays now. Um, so this is, I guess I should introduce myself. Um, I'm I'm pretty old, uh, relatively. I started transitioning later than most people do. I knew that I was trans when I was pretty young, but I didn't get around to actually doing anything about it until recently. I went through therapy and uh, trying to get hormones and things like that for actually several years before I got um, where I am today. Um, Otherwise, I'm a grad student and a freelance writer. Um, Nothing really interesting. um, the topic this week is about uh, gender therapy specifically, and um, and I know that people are transitioning younger now than they were, um, you know, among my group of friends and my generation, and I've known a lot of people who waited till they were older, um, had families and had a much harder time coming to terms with um, what they were feeling, and they weren't even sure about it themselves. And in that situation, I see where gender specific therapy can be really helpful. Um, Somebody who's questioning it, but I also don't feel like it should be a requirement for somebody who has a lot of conviction in their feelings that they're trans. I don't feel like they should have to convince a doctor who is probably cis uh, that they themselves are trans. I don't see why a doctor would know it better than you, or how you're going to explain how you feel to somebody who's never felt it. So I feel like it should be a lot easier to find a gender therapist or somebody who knows what they're doing if you are questioning, or if you even just don't know how to come out to people, don't know how to talk to your family, if you're scared. Um, but I also don't feel like it should be such a heavy requirement to moving forward and getting hormones and things like that. Um, because some people are sure and they don't have, you know, a lot of grief about it. They don't feel like they need to talk to anybody about it. They just feel like, I am this. I need medical assistance. Um, and they get the runaround. So I understand why it would be necessary, but I also think it's relied on too heavily by the medical community and cisgender doctors who have no idea what they're talking about, in my experience. But the only other option is, what's it called? I can't even remember now. Informed consent. Trying to get hormones and things like that on informed consent um, isn't really a given. You can go in and say, like, I'm trans, give me hormones, and they can still tell you no. A lot of people don't realize. I was actually denied informed consent, which is one of the reasons it took me an extra year to get on hormones after I met the requisites, because I wasn't approved. So, in short, the medical establishment is nonsense and they don't know what they're on about. Um, but I guess mine is the unpopular opinion. Um, I don't feel that it should be a requirement to go on hormones. Um, but I don't feel like a lot of the things that the medical establishment makes people do make any sense. They have guidelines to make it seem more official, but they really don't know what they're on about. And this is coming from a med student, so um, take that as you will.